Good morning.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to my virtual interactive live. And today's virtual interactive live is going to be emotional abuse. Come on in, guys. Come on in. And the speaker is going to present for the day is Miss Thais Love. Welcome, Miss Love. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I am well. I am well. Happy Monday. If those of you all who are celebrating Columbus Day, happy Columbus Day to you. Thank you for spending and taking this time out just to share with me today. And so I want to just go ahead and get started. Um, I had placed some questions out there when I sent out the post. And so, if you have the answers to those questions or you want to make comments, feel free to put those comments in the chat. Okay. Awesome. But today, I would like to talk about heart hurts. Heart hurts. Um, in other words, emotional abuse. Have you or have you or know someone, or maybe it was yourself, ever been in a situation um, or a relationship where you felt humiliated constantly? Or maybe you might know of someone who um, is in they felt stuck, in a relationship and they didn't see any way out. You might know of a parent, or perhaps you were the parent that pushed your child, in trying to motivate your child beyond their present capabilities. And so you were, you know, you might have been talking harshly to the child, or just telling them, "Come on, you can do it, you can do it," and the child really couldn't and didn't know how to tell you. Well, if you have experienced any of these situations, or you know someone that is going through these situations, these are examples of emotional abuse. That's right, emotional abuse. Um, a lot of times, emotional abuse, just like other forms of abuse, it happens so prevalently, happens so often that we literally incorporate it in our lives. We don't really pay attention to it. We just kind of incorporate it in our lives. It's part of our everyday experience, and how we deal with it is just simply that, how we deal with it. But what is emotional abuse? Emotional abuse is when someone, or even yourself, um, puts someone else in a situation where they they take actions that undermine that person's self-worth, their self-esteem, their sense of self-security, even. So their actions harm that person in that way. And so um, these are a series of actions um, and interactions that happen over and over and over again. So it every time it happens, it eats away at that person's sense of self, sense of security, sense of self-esteem, and self-worth. Okay, and so Um, it could be your partner. It could be a family member. It could be even someone at your workplace that might be doing these things. And when one is experiencing these particular situations, they feel a sense of helplessness. Feel a sense of they're stuck, they're locked in, they feel powerless. Okay, and so they wind up just succumbing, just giving in, just to try to make it stop. So this is emotional abuse, and emotional abuse happens at school, at home, at work, and it is considered a form of domestic violence. Okay, so that's why it needs to be talked about. And like I said, it happens so frequently that sometimes we're really not aware that we're experiencing that's what we're experiencing. Okay, I'm moving right along. And so what how did you identify examples of abuse when someone is exhibiting emotional abusive behavior? They do things like uh, humiliate people in public, sometimes in private, but they say things, um, they make joke, um, and they do it constantly to the point where the other person feels totally humiliated. Um, Verbal abuse is a form of emotional abuse where you say things constantly to another person that uh, just tears down their self-esteem, um, and upsets their sense of self, their sense of worth, even. So that the emotional abuser um, will verbally abuse the other person. Another thing is constantly yelling and shouting at a person. Um, Sometimes you might see this amongst parents towards their children. The parent might get frustrated by something that the child is doing or not doing, and suddenly the parent finds themselves shouting at the child constantly, um, and yelling, calling the child names, um, threatening. That's another um, tactic that's used, where you make threats to the person constantly. You see that a lot in the situation of bullying, um, or very often. And bullying is another form of emotional abuse. And so um, you the abuser continues with these actions, making the other person feel helpless. They can't make it stop. Um, they feel worthless. Um, another thing that happens is the abuser will force or constantly ask the other person to do uh, tasks that are degrading or demeaning. So you might hear a husband say to his wife, "Get over there and clean up that mess." Um, clean the toilet with the toothbrush. You know, um, the wife in that situation may find that uh, degrading. Get on your hands and knees and scrub the floor. I want to see you on your hands and knees. It's the action, the activity that the abuser is asking the other person to do is demeaning, degrading. They feel less than, they feel small, worthless. And so those are the activities, those are the behaviors that someone who is an emotional abuser would take to um, will take against the other person, the victim. You might have experienced some of these uh, situations in your life. You might be experiencing it now. Uh, if you are, yes, you are being emotionally abused. You are the target of an emotional abuser. And that's just some of the things, but those are the general behaviors and patterns of activity that an emotional abuser utilizes. Some signs of being abused. If you talk with someone and they, explain to you how they're feeling and they say these things, chances are that person is a victim of emotional abuse. For example, the person is not confident in themselves, very unsure of themselves. They lack self-esteem or don't have very high self-esteem. Okay, they are they look for affection from anybody that would give it to them. They're looking for affection, acceptance from anyone that will give it to them overly. Um, you can tell that, okay, this person really needs a hug, or they hugged me 3 times and I don't even know them. That sort of thing. Someone that is overly cautious or wary, like they, almost paranoid, like they don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to cause any harm. They're always apologizing. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean. Okay, very apologizing as to not to offend uh, anyone when they're in their presence. I mean, overly, very noticeable. The person is overly anxious. The anxious, all the time. They're not at peace. They're not at ease. They're, is there anything I can do? Okay, I don't want. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. They they're overly anxious, overly apologetic, so as to not to um, incur the anger or offend the other person. Those are simple examples of someone has gone through or they are victims of emotional abuse. So when you see certain things like that, or when someone is sharing with you and they talk about, and talking that way, yeah, they are going through that or they have been through that. Another thing is a person who's emotionally abused, they don't have a lot of friends. They're kind of isolated from other people. Um, and that's done on purpose because a lot of times the emotional wants their victims, anytime they feel like, they can go ahead and entertain emotionally abusive behavior towards that person. Okay, so those are the signs of someone who might be experiencing emotional abuse. Those things show up in the person's personality. Now, emotional abuse is very, very devastating because it has such long standing effects. So if a child grows up under emotional abuse, it frames the way that child goes through life. Um, Things like, with prolonged emotional abuse, especially from childhood, yields to other mental illnesses and uh, and things of that nature. For example, someone that has gone through emotional abuse, especially for a stint of time, they wind up with eating disorders because they don't feel like they're good enough, or they have issues around eating. They'll either eat too much or eat too little, or eat at all, or bulimia, things of that nature, anorexia, eating disorders like that. The victim develops because they have been in an emotionally abusive situation for a long time. Another um, another mental illness that develops from emotional abuse is narcissistic personality disorder. Um, there's a lot on that. NPD is very it's very difficult to diagnose, but not difficult to detect. A lot of people who experience that or um, have that will not go to get help because they don't see anything wrong. They don't. They think that the way that they are living, the actions that they are exhibiting, they think that, oh, it's fine. It's what's the issue? I don't have an issue. You have an issue, not me. That kind of thing. Yes, it does lead to narcissistic personality disorder. Um, which is another form of emotional abuse, actually, as well, called narcissistic abuse. The thing about narcissistic abuse is these are pattern behaviors that cause uh, that lead to, or that cause emotional abuse, but it's particular pattern behaviors that are exhibited by people who suffer with narcissistic personality disorder. Okay, so another form of emotional abuse is, I said, bullying, narcissistic abuse. Verbal abuse is a form of emotional abuse. Um, Harassment is a form of emotional abuse. And even racism is is a form of emotional abuse, amongst other things. And so emotional abuse is that's why, you know, it's very broad, and that's why it's so prevalent. And you know, we all have experienced some kind of emotional abuse in one form or another. And so that's why it's important to know what the signs are, what the um, behavior actions are, so that you can try to stop it or curtail it, you know, as soon as possible. Because extended emotional abuse leads to other issues. So, the emotional abuse also, it occurs in stages. It occurs in stages. There's a certain pattern of behaviors. Like I said, the threatening, the shouting and yelling at someone, the humiliation, the constant taunting, um, uh, putting someone in a position where they have to do and perform demeaning and degrading acts, um, and over or aggressively motivating someone past their capability and their tolerance. All of those are actions of an emotional abuser. And so emotional abuse happens in stages. The first stage of emotional abuse is enmeshing. Enmeshing. The enmeshing is where, you know, you first meet the person, or you yeah, at the beginning of the relationship, you know, the person gets to know you, you get to know the person, and uh, that person might act overprotective, and you might notice it, but you go, oh well, you know, that person is just a little bit extra when it comes to my welfare or my protection, you know. But overprotection um, is a characteristic. Overprotecting is a characteristic of an abuser. But you know, at the beginning, you know, of your relationship with that person, you know, you might notice that they're very, very protective. Oh, yeah. I don't want you hanging with those people. You know, your friends. I mean, you. They don't mean you any what good. Your friends, you know, and they, you know, uh, pretend to be just overprotective, um, and that's how they draw you closer to them and away from the rest of your friends, family, you know. So that's the enmeshing, okay, where they, you know, kind of draw you closer to them and kind of block off everyone else have access to you, so they would be overprotective and even possessive, uh, discouraging you from kind of interacting with your friends and things. That's the enmeshing at the beginning of the emotional abuse. Then that goes from enmeshing to the extreme overprotection. Extreme overprotection. Okay. When I'm out the house, if you're not with me, you're not allowed to go out of the house. You stay right here, because I don't want anything to happen to you, you know. And why? Because I said so. Overprotection, extreme overprotection. And then it goes from overprotection to overindulgence. Okay, so Um, the person might ask you to do them a favor. Well, could you do me a favor? Could you make me a plate of food? You do it once, do it twice, and it goes from that to, you know what? I need you to make me cook all of my meals every day. Um, could you do that for me? In fact, do that for me. That's what I want you to do. Every time you see me, I want you to have a plate of food. Every time you cook for me. Overindulgence, where, at the beginning it was okay if it was once in a while, but now you're doing too much. You're asking for too much. And so the person takes more liberties with you, asks a lot of you to do for them. That's that overindulgence. And so it goes on further uh, from overindulgence to then you go into rage. Rage. So when you get tired of, cooking for the person every meal and everything, and you decide, okay, today I'm not going to do it today, or I'm going to miss a meal, the person gets disappointed with you and angry with you and goes into full rage, and starts screaming at you, yelling at you, threatening you, and they just get really, really upset with you, so that you hurry up and try to, do whatever it is that they wanted you to do, so that you won't, incur that kind of anger again, So, and with the rage, it's intimidation. You're fearful, because you're like, oh, only thing I did was not make the meal one time. I didn't expect you to fly off the handle and, threaten me just because of that. So it goes from overindulgence, clean into rage. Oh, and then there's neglect also that happens. If you're in a relationship with this person, they begin to not care for you in the same way that you care for them. The relationship no longer is, equal, give and take. It turns into you doing the giving, and that person does all the taking. And that person um, goes, after they go into the rage fits with you, because you didn't do what they wanted you to do, then it turns into complete neglect. That person could really care less about how you feel, your emotions. There's no real love there. They just totally ignore your needs. Um, Even if you express them, oh, you want to go out? Well, you don't need to go out. You don't deserve to go out. What do you want to do that for? No, you're supposed to be here, cooking my meals and doing what I asked you to do. Complete neglect of you and your ignoring your feelings, your emotions, your needs. Complete neglect. And then from complete neglect to rejection or abandonment. So after they done, used you all up, they no longer are even interested in you. You disgust them, so then they just disappear. Or when you come to them trying to get that affection or trying to get that attention that you need from them, they reject you. Oh no. Oh, you want me to kiss that mouth? Really? That kind of thing. that rejection and then abandonment. They just, just leave you hanging. You don't even know, well, what did I do? I thought I was doing everything to make this relationship work, and they just like abscond, just jump ship, go. So those are the stages of emotional abuse. The enmeshing, the extreme overprotection, the um, complete rage and the fits, the um, neglect, then the rejection, and ultimately abandonment. Okay, so those are the stages of um, emotional abuse. Okay, so um, like I said, if you have gone through or you're experiencing any of these things, chances are you are an emotional abused victim. Okay, now there are things that you can do um, to remedy that. The first thing is recognizing that this is what's happening. A lot of times we're so deep in whatever the relationship is that we don't think that you know we can get out of it. That's what I was speaking about, feeling stuck in a relationship or in a situation um, where you don't see any way out, or if you want to break the relationship, you don't, or you shy away from that because you don't want to incur that rage from that other person. But if you find that you're in an emotionally abusive relationship, you don't think that you are stuck. Okay, I know that's easier said than done, but understand that there's always, always, always options. Life presents options all the time. There's always, always, always options. What to do, uh, get out of that situation or make it stop. First of all, you have to recognize it. You have to recognize it, understand, okay, this is what's really happening. This is what's happening to me. Second of all, you not only do you have to recognize it, but you have to understand that you don't have to deal with that. You don't have to continue to receive that kind of treatment. You have to understand that you are worth more than that. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of affection. You are worthy of respect. Okay, you need to understand that. A lot of times, though, being in that kind of relationship or being emotionally abused, you don't have a lot of self-love. Okay, and so and your self-esteem might be low, and so you take it somewhere in your mind. You think, oh well, I deserve that, or I deserve that kind of treatment. No, you don't. No, you don't. And you need to understand that you don't, no one deserves to be emotionally abused in any kind of way. So acknowledge it, understand that this is what's happening to you, understand that you have options that you can entertain. You just have to find out which option is best for you so that you can get out. Understand that you are worth being treated like a human being. You are worth being loved. You are worth being respected. Understand that, because when you understand that and help, tell yourself that, then you'll be motivated to explore those options, okay, that are there. You just have to go and find them, but they're there, okay, so that you can either reverse the situation or come out of that situation, okay. um and then talk to someone. Let them know what you're feeling. Let them know um, how you're feeling, and ask. I need to get out of this. I'm not. This relationship is not helping me in any kind of way. I need to get out of this. I need help. And I mean, you can find someone that you can trust. Um, that will hear you, and that can steer you to the right direction. You can even talk to me, but find someone that you can talk to so that you can get the help that you need. And like I said, emotional abuse is one of the abusive situations that fall under domestic violence. Okay. Especially it happens at home, but emotional abuse can happen anywhere. It can happen at school. It can happen at work. When you discover or you realize that, okay, this is what's happening, I'm being emotionally abused, you have to talk to someone. Okay, and so that they can help you either get out of that situation or reverse the situation. And last but not least, if you feel comfortable enough, confront the abuser. Sometimes people don't even realize that, their actions are being interpreted as, negative or hurtful or harmful. So if you're at the workplace and you have that coworker that always they're always joking, on you, and causes everyone else to laugh and everything, you feel humiliated. You need to bring that up. Excuse me. I don't appreciate your jokes. I don't appreciate every day you're talking to me this way. You don't have to shout at me. I can hear you. Speak to me with some respect. Confront them. Let them know this is how I'm thinking and I'm feeling. If you can. Sometimes you are, you may fear retaliation if you spoke up directly to your abuser. At work, if it's a supervisor that's, exhibiting these behaviors, you might be fearful that, well, if I speak up directly to my supervisor, I might lose my job. In situations like that, find someone that you can speak to. You might want to contact someone in the human resource department and let them know. And then that way they can take steps to remedy the situation, confront your boss or fellow employee, coworker for you, and cause the situation to stop. If it's a situation where it's a family member, let the person know as best you can, or talk to another family member so that they can help you remedy the situation or come out of the situation or confront the abuser for you to make it stop. If you're a child and in a child parent situation, that's tough. When the emotional abuse is happening to a child, because the child is in a situation where, that's my parent that's doing that, or that's auntie or uncle, or that's my teacher talking to me that way and humiliating me in front of the class. If you're a child in that situation, find someone to talk to. Find someone to talk to. So if it's happening at school and it's your teacher, you might want to speak to the guidance counselor or speak to another teacher, or talk to your parent. If it's your parent and you're in that situation, that's a little bit tougher. You might want to speak to another family member, an older sibling, the other parent that's not doing that to you. You might want to speak to your teacher or your guidance counselor, so that way they can bring it to that parent's attention of how you're feeling and get you some help. If you're in a relationship and it's your lover, your partner, your husband, your wife, if you can, try to get some counseling so that you will have the tools to either confront that person or empower yourself enough so that you can leave the situation. Okay. And so those are the instances, behaviors, symptoms of emotional abuse. Are there any questions? Are there any questions, comments?
No questions, Miss Love.
No questions.
No questions.
Wow. Okay. Either I explained it really, really well, or people are sleeping.
Job options, and she said it's a nice topic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I try to bring and share information that I think people can benefit from, or at least they can share it with someone else that they might know and empower them. So thank you for that. I'm glad that you feel that way and everything. And I know that the audience for Aunt Cece's Kitchen, you all are very well informed and very influential people. And so I try to come with information that's pertinent so that you all can share and help somebody else. That's the whole point of it. Being that this is October, and October is a month for a lot of things, but it happens to be a mental health month as well as domestic violence month. I thought it to be fitting to talk about these particular issues. All month long, I've been talking about different abuse, different forms of abuse, and not the forms that maybe not everyone is talking about. Everyone talks about, and there's a lot of information out there for physical abuse. And that's obvious. People, know a lot about that, but people may not know as much, or may not be aware even that there's verbal abuse, there's emotional abuse. Next Monday, I will be talking about financial abuse. Yeah, there's such thing as financial abuse. Next Monday, I'll be talking about that. Um, and financial abuse is another form of emotional abuse, uh, where, a lot of people experience it and go through it, but may not even understand that they are victims of it. They may not understand the impact of having experienced that, the long-standing impact of that. So we'll be talking about that next week, Monday. And so, but yeah, I try to come with information that I think you find pertinent. So thank you for that. Don't forget to, all of you, don't forget to like the video and, put it in the chat. Let us know if you want more of these kinds of programs and things so that we can bring it to you. Are there any other questions or comments?
No more questions.
Wow. Okay. Well, like I said, thank you all for your questions, your comments. Don't forget to like the page, and thank you for just spending this time with me and learning about emotional abuse. Hopefully, if you know someone or if you are even experiencing emotional abuse yourself, you have been empowered somewhat in that now you know what it is. You can put your finger on that heart hurt, because that's the thing with emotional abuse. It breaks your heart. It hurts it catches you right here. And sometimes when our heart is hurting, a heart hurt is not a hurt that you can point to right away. It's in this area, but you can't, really put your finger on it directly. And so hopefully things that were said and shared with you today helped you zero in and put your finger on that heart hurt, or help someone else to put their finger on that heart hurt. Well, thank you so much again for letting me share. Tune in next Monday. We'll be talking about financial abuse, and I'll be sending out the flyer and all that kind of thing. If you or someone you know is experiencing emotional abuse, verbal abuse, any of the abuses that I've shared, my name is Tahis Love. I am a mental health coach, and I am equipped and ready to help you. You can reach out to me. You can reach out by email at dunamissoundmind@gmail.com, or you can call me. Don't hesitate to call me. Okay, I can talk with you. You can talk to me. My telephone number is 718-576-8110. Feel free to give me a call. You can text me even at that number. Just make sure you give me your contact information so that I can reach out to you, and we can schedule an appointment or simply talk, what have you. But I am here, and I can help. Emotional abuse is particularly near and dear to me simply because I have gone through emotional abuse, and I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware until I finally came out of it. what happened was the emotional abuser in my life wound up abandoning me. He was just done and he just left. And I was left feeling anxious and overwhelmed and helpless. And oh my God, I don't know what to do. Oh my God, you know. And when I went to get help, um, you know, then social workers and brought it to my attention and let me know. And at first, because I didn't know and I wasn't aware, when they, explained to me, you are a domestic violence victim. That's how they introduced it to me. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Um, I wasn't physically harmed, not at all. And then they explained to me what it was. And then I'm like, oh, that's what it is. And I was able to get some help and um, move forward. And so now, because someone, helped me in that kind of way, I have decided to make it my business to make myself available to any of those who might be going through any of these abuses, and just try to help them get unstuck or out of that situation so they can move forward. So thank you again for letting me share. And um, if you have expertise or information that you'd like to share and you'd like to come on this wonderful platform called CC's Kitchen, you too can be here and present as well. You just have to reach out to Miss Griffith, Aunt CC herself, and she can make that happen for you. But thank you so much for letting me share. Have a great day. Again, I will see you tune in next week, Monday, and we'll be talking about financial abuse. Also, you can tune in. I'll be here again on Sunday. I'm here every Sunday at 1 p.m. This week, Sunday, we will be talking about the name of the topic is Woman, You Are Called. And I'll be talking about specifically sexism in the church. So stay tuned for that. That's 1 p.m. on Sunday. Thanks so much. Thank you, Miss Griffith, again for allowing me to just enjoy this platform, this wonderful platform, and giving me a place where I can share and exchange with your wonderful audience. Thank you so much. Thank you for the work that you put in week after week just to make sure this platform is here and available for all of us to enjoy. Thank you so much again. And I'll see some of you Sunday, and I'll see others of you next week. Enjoy the rest of your day, and have a blessed week. Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks to everyone in the chat and those in the background, and thanks to most of all to Mr. Isla for presenting. I hope you guys enjoy the session, and I hope you guys come back for more. I'm here every Sunday and Monday with these topics. We'll be coming to you. With the topics that Mr. just said, and I'll be coming to you on the 16th with another topic. As you know, October is a month for awareness.
Like yes, said, cancer awareness. Yes.
And also
that's right.
Cancer awareness. So that's the topic I will be coming with on the 16th. And I hope you guys join us to be informed and be motivated and tell a friend or a neighbor or someone that who can benefit from this information to join us on those days, Sundays and Mondays.
Yes.
The cancer one I'll be coming to you on Friday, October 16th at 3
Yes.
in the evening. And I hope you guys join us for more of these virtual interactive talks. Thanks again, everyone who's in the chat and those who have been sitting in the background. And thanks of all to Miss Thais Love. If you guys want to be a part of this platform, or you have any expertise or anyone that want to join us, my email address is ancskitchen@gmail.com. My Instagram is Chardonnay, and Mrs. Love email address is dunamasongmind@gmail.com. If you want to reach us for more talks, or if you want to have her to present on your channel, her information is dunamasongmind@gmail.com. Thank you all. Have a great day and a blessed week ahead. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Miss Love. Have a great day. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Miss Griffith. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye now.